Hi everyone! In today's video, I want to show you how I did this fruit design that I actually added some 3D details that I did with gel. But I'm going to tell you more about that throughout this video. The first thing that we have to do is prep the nails, and since I'm using a plastic hand, there's almost nothing I can do other than file them. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in today's tutorial, we're going to do encapsulated nails. And the way we're gonna do that is gonna be a little bit different. To do that, I'm gonna use crystal clear acrylic powder. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is make this very thin layer that is gonna cover the entire nail. And what I'm gonna be using to encapsulate the nails is two different types of glitter. This first one that has like chunks, and the one that I'm going to be using is this green one because I'm going to be doing a lime on this first nail. And then I'm going to use this other glitter that is very fine. To be able to add this glitter on the nail, I'm going to use the same powder that I started with. And once I'm done creating the pearl, I'm going to add some of that glitter on top of that pearl. In that way, I'm going to be able to move it around and basically glue it wherever I feel like it. When the acrylic dries, the glitter is going to stay in place and it's not going to fall off. Now that I'm done applying the chunky glitter, I'm going to go with the second one, and I'm going to be applying it the same way that I just told you about. To encapsulate the glitter that we just applied, I'm going to be using the same crystal clear acrylic powder that I just used earlier. And what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be adding pearls, and I'm going to cover the entire nail. What you want to make sure here is that everything is well covered, because otherwise the encapsulated nail is not going to last and the glitter that we applied can eventually fall off. And once I'm done doing the nail, of course, I'm still gonna add some pressure on the sides just so the final nail can look more natural. Like you guys can tell, I'm doing square nails, so I'm gonna make sure that the form is completely straight. Otherwise, the nail can go downwards and it's just not gonna look great. And here I'm going to be doing the same thing that I just told you about. I'm going to do a very thin layer that is going to cover the entire nail. And for the second nail, I'm going to be applying these orange glitters because I'm going to be drawing some oranges. When I apply the glitter, I'm going to try not to cover up the nail too much because I like the effect of crystal clear nails, and since we're gonna be doing some drawings, I feel like adding too much glitter can make the final design look too much, so I'm gonna try to leave some open spaces. Now that I'm done applying everything, I'm gonna start encapsulating the nail. And the way I like to do that is that I add the first pearls on top of the nail up near the cuticle, and then I go downwards. When you guys do this step, make sure that you don't touch the cuticle too much because that can eventually cause lifting and that can make your nail fall off. When I apply this first layer, I build a nail like if I was doing an average one. I apply the first pearl between the natural nail and the form, and then I end up covering up everything else. On these third nails, I'm gonna be using this pink color and some red one because actually I'm gonna be doing a strawberry here, so I wanted the glitter to reflect that. Now I'm gonna apply glitter on this third nail, and a little tip that I have for you guys is that when you're doing this step, make sure you try to be a little bit fast because what can happen is that the acrylic can dry out and there's gonna be a bump left, and that's gonna be a little bit hard to take off. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to apply the glitter as fast as possible wherever I feel like it's gonna look good. To finish up this third nail, I'm gonna encapsulate everything in the same way that I've been telling you throughout this video. And of course, remember to add some pressure on the sides. To finish up this last nail, I'm gonna start by doing the thin layer that we've been doing all throughout this video. And here, what I'm gonna make sure is that the entire nail is well covered so we can really encapsulate everything. And the glitter that I'm gonna be using this time is gonna be this yellow one, because on this last nail, I'm actually gonna do a lemon. So I wanted the glitters to reflect that. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and let you watch how I do this last nail. I'm gonna be applying the glitter in the same way that I've been telling you about. Now that I applied the glitter whatever I felt like it was gonna look good, I'm gonna start by encapsulating this last nail. And the way I'm gonna be doing this is exactly like I've been telling you about. To finish up, I'm gonna apply some pressure on the sides. And this is how the encapsulated nails look like. But it's not completely done yet because what we have to do is file everything. And I'm gonna start by filing the sides, and since these are square nails, I'm gonna put the file completely straight. Now that the sides are completely done, I'm gonna start by filing the surface. And the way I'm gonna do that is that I'm gonna use my e-file. When you guys do this step, make sure that you don't file too much, because if you end up filing the glitter, the encapsulated nail can end up looking a little bit strange. This is how the encapsulated nails look like. Now we're ready to do the design. Before we start, remember that it's very important to always clean off the nails, because after filing, there's gonna be some dust left behind. After that is when we get to add some top coat, which I feel like is the best part of doing encapsulated nails, because it not only adds a really pretty shine, but since we've done these nails with crystal acrylic, we get to really see what we encapsulated. I think that applying 2 different types of glitter makes the nails look even better, especially after we apply some top coat. I love doing this type of nails. It's actually really fun, and I feel like I'm gonna do a lot more designs. Remember that you have to cure top coat for about 1 minute. And this is how the base looks like. I love how it turned out, and now everything is done and we can start doing some designs. The way I'm gonna add some drawings is by using gel paint. And the first one that I'm gonna be using is this green one, since I'm gonna be doing a lime on this first nail. I don't show it on this video, but actually I did mix some of this green with white to do 2 different types of color. The first thing that I did is this half circle that I did with some dark green. And then I'm gonna go with some light green, and I'm gonna end up drawing the rest of the line. And the way I'm doing this is that I'm drawing about 3 triangles, kind of, and I'm making sure that they all go to the same direction so it looks as realistic as possible. And something that I didn't mention is that you guys have to cure this gel paint for about 1 minute. And after that, I'm gonna add some white just to finish up the lime. When you guys do this step, I recommend you to use a very thin brush because otherwise it's gonna be really hard for you to cover everything that you need to cover. And since I wanted this lime to be realistic, I'm gonna add some details on the light green, just a few very thin lines. And this is how the first nail looks like. On the second nail, I don't know if you guys remembered, but I told you that I was gonna do some oranges. And the way I'm gonna be doing them is that I'm actually gonna do 2. The first one is gonna be the bigger one and then a tiny one on the bottom. And to be honest with you guys, doing the circles is actually really hard. So a tip that I have for you is to do a very thin circle and then use the rest of the orange to fill it up. And then I'm gonna go with the light orange and I'm gonna do a few triangles, just like I told you on the lime. And I don't know if you guys are able to tell, but the first 2 triangles are the biggest ones. And the rest, I'm doing them smaller because I wanted these oranges to have some sort of perspective. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And also, the thing that you guys have to be careful here is that the triangles cannot touch because you guys need some space to add some of the white to be able to finish up these oranges. And of course, remember to cure everything for about 1 minute. Otherwise, the colors can mix with the white. And now to finish up these oranges, I'm gonna be doing the same thing as I did in the first nail. I'm gonna be using this very thin brush and I'm just gonna go carefully and I'm gonna go over every little space that I have to add some of this white. And then to make the oranges be a little bit more realistic, I'm gonna add some of these little details. I'm gonna do very few and very thin lines on top of this orange. And this is how it looks like. Honestly, I think it's one of my favorites. On this third nail, I'm actually gonna do a strawberry. So I'm gonna be using this red gel paint. And the way I'm gonna do the strawberry shape is actually very easy. I'm basically gonna do a heart and then I'm gonna go over with some kind of like red that has like a pink undertone and I'm gonna fill everything up. And afterwards, I'm gonna add some dots with a darker red just to make the strawberry be a little bit more realistic. And of course, we need to add a few leaves. And the way I'm gonna do this is that I'm gonna use some of the green gel paint and I'm just gonna be adding a few lines. And to finish up, I'm gonna do this lemon and of course I'm gonna be using a white gel paint. And basically it's gonna be kind of the same as the orange. The only thing that is gonna change are the colors. Also here, when I'm filling up the lemon, I'm still gonna do the first two triangles bigger than the rest one. Remember that when you guys are done using the yellow gel paint, you have to cure everything for about 1 minute. Otherwise, everything is gonna get mixed up with the white. And here, I'm gonna finish up the lemon by adding some of the white gel paint. And remember to be careful because these are very thin spaces that you're gonna be adding the white. Of course, just like I've done with the rest of the nails, I'm gonna add some details by doing these very thin lines on top of this lemon. And this is how it looks like. But we're not completely done yet because I don't know if you guys remember, but in the beginning of the video, I told you that I was gonna do some 3D with some gel. So here's when we get to do this. And I'm gonna be using this clear gel that I'm actually gonna be mixing with a few colors. The first nail, I'm gonna be mixing it with this very pretty green. When you guys do this step, a little tip that I have for you is to keep things simple, because what we're trying to do with this is to make it look kind of like water, and if we add too much, it can end up looking messy. So the first thing that I'm gonna do on this nail is that I'm gonna go over the lines, and then I'm gonna go over the dark green and finish up by doing a drop. I don't know if you guys are able to tell, but I'm gonna show you better on the other nails. And remember to cure everything for about 1 minute. This is how the first nail looks like. On the second one, since we have oranges, I mixed the clear gel with an orange nail polish. And first, I'm gonna go over the dark orange, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is well covered. And here, I'm gonna do a few drops. The way I'm doing these drops is that I'm gonna apply kind of like a dot of gel, and then I'm gonna push it upwards. I don't know if you guys are able to understand what I'm saying, but I hope you guys can tell it on the video. And this is how these oranges look like. Honestly, I love how it turned out with the gel. I think that it looks very realistic. And on the third nail, I mixed the gel with a pink nail polish, and I'm still gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go over it, and then I'm gonna do 2 drops. One that is bigger and then another smaller on next to it. Remember to always cure everything for about 1 minute. And on the last nail, it's basically gonna be like the oranges. I'm gonna go over the dark yellow. Make sure that you stay on the line, because otherwise it can end up looking a little bit messy. And to finish up this nail, I'm gonna do about 2 drops in just the same way that I told you. I'm gonna add a dot, and then I'm gonna push the gel upwards. And this is how the final nails look like. What do you guys think? Do you guys like it? Honestly, I loved doing this design. It was really fun. And I think that adding some of the gel makes it look a lot more interesting. I know that it's a little bit more difficult than what I usually post, but I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please subscribe and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!